Hi, I'm Jordan with BrillNola here for the Kickstarter video. I'm going to be making two different types of yogurt parfaits today, showing you a recipe and how to prepare them both. I want to do this regularly throughout the span of our company, basically at least once a month, just coming up with a new recipe that you can try out with our granola. So today we're going to be making both a breakfast and a dessert yogurt parfait. The breakfast one, just a great thing you can serve friends and family during the breakfast, and then another one maybe for after lunch or dinner. We're going to be starting with the breakfast yogurt parfait. This one is a great adjunct to any breakfast or just a breakfast in its own. So we're going to be using ingredients wise just our granola right here in this, as well as some apples, sliced bananas, kiwi, and then just some plain yogurt. You're free to use flavored yogurt if you like a little bit more flavor in the yogurt, but this is just plain Greek yogurt. And you're also free to use any types of fruits that you like, any berries, strawberries for example, raspberries are great, but for this we're just using more standard fruit to kind of just make it simple. Alright, to start we're just going to be putting a bottom layer of the granola down, so just get a spoonful, throw it down. Really all you're going to need for the bottom layer is just about 2.5 scoops of the granola. Just try to make sure that you get an even amount of nuts in there. And then on top of that we're actually going to be putting the yogurt, so just for the bottom scoop, depending on your glass, this one is narrower towards the bottom so we don't need quite as much for the bottom layers. So let's just kind of get that a little bit flat. And then we're going to put some fruit on top of that. It doesn't really matter what order you put the fruit on here. We're just going to throw some bananas on top, then a little bit of kiwi down there, and then some slices of apple. And it's a good idea to kind of separate the yogurt with the fruit before the next batch of granola, because otherwise the granola and the yogurt will kind of just fuse together, and this way you're actually going to get some real separation. That's the way I like to do it. Otherwise, if you do want more of that kind of like fusion mixed throughout, a little more evenly mixed, then you're free to go granola, fruit, then yogurt, then granola, and you'll get it a little more evenly mixed. Alright, and now we're going to put another layer of granola right on top of that fruit. So just a couple of spoonfuls will do. I'm going to do about another 2.5 there. Get it as even as you can. I got a little cluster there I'm going to throw back in. And then another layer of yogurt here. You don't need a ton, just good enough to get a little bit of a even layer there. Then some more slices of banana. Kiwi. And then the slices of apple right on top of that. Alright, for this layer we're going to throw a little bit of peanut butter in here to kind of spice it up. Right on top of the apples is good, so I'm just going to kind of get a little bit here, throw it down, and then just kind of spread it around a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just kind of a nice little clump there to kind of get the layers a little more defined. Alright, so now we have a little bit of peanut butter. Now we can add the granola on top of that. Another about 2.5 scoops should be good. And this is kind of like the foundation for each layer, so you want the granola to try to be evenly placed, at least so it's like a full layer. On top of that we're going to go with some more yogurt here. And this layer we're going to use a little bit more than we have on the others, because this is going to be the final layer and we want it to look a little bit nice. So we want it to kind of spread evenly there, and then from there we can really get our toppings looking nice on top. So we're going to go with the sliced bananas right there. And then we can take our slices of apple and kind of put them around the perimeter of the yogurt. They don't have to be evenly sliced or anything like that. It's just kind of a nice, unique take on it. And then right in the middle, we've kind of made this bowl. We're going to throw our kiwi on top of the banana. And then for a little bit of a garnish, we're going to take some cinnamon sugar and just sprinkle it right on top. And there you go. As you can see, the layers throughout the cup gives it a nice appealing look as you turn it around. And handing someone this can really brighten a day. So that's the breakfast yogurt parfait. I hope you enjoy it, and we're going to move on next to the dessert. Sounds good. Alright, now starting with the dessert after the breakfast, we're going to have very similar structure here. It's going to be granola, fruit, yogurt, but we're going to do things a little bit differently for this one. We're actually going to add some of this caramel and this chocolate syrup here in each layer, and it's just gonna give it a little bit more flavor, make it a little sweeter, and really make it a defined dessert option. Alright, now, so once again, we're gonna start with the granola, putting about 2–2.5 scoops at the very bottom. And then from there, don't need a ton of yogurt on the bottom, but just what a scoop and a half to 2 scoops will do, just enough to kind of cover the granola down there. We're gonna throw some sliced apples and the bananas. And then on top of that, we're going to throw some of this caramel syrup. You don't need a lot, just a little bit to cover. And if you want to be fancy, you can change the direction of your zigzags. You have some going horizontal, some going vertical. And that's the first layer. Alright, now just another layer of granola on top of that. I'm losing a little bit here, but that's okay. We'll clean up the common word later, don't worry. Now we've got another layer of granola down there, a little bit of yogurt on top. And it's not always the easiest to kind of get it to push around. You don't have to worry about getting the sides of the glass kind of coated in yogurt. It still is an attractive look even with it. And then now just a little bit more fruit. Once again, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of Hershey syrup. And another layer down. Alright, so one last layer of granola here. And with the dessert option, I like to leave a little more room towards the top for garnishing because you have a little more liberties and with what you can use for dessert. So we've got the granola, time for the yogurt. Now things are going to be a little bit different for this time. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of granola right on top of the yogurt here. It's kind of just like a micro layer almost, because on top of this we still want to get that yogurt, but we also want a little bit of separation because we are going to actually add everybody's favorite, a little bit of whipped cream here. So doing it slow, we're just going to kind of swirl around to get this kind of peak towards the center. And we don't want to go too vertical, so it's coming out of the cup, because whipped cream, as it gets warm, will kind of start to slide down. If you get it too high, it's going to start melting out of the cup, and that's not fun at all. So then we're just going to kind of throw a little bit of caramel, and what I'm going to do is put the caramel down, then add in some fruit here. Then a little bit of banana right here. You don't need a lot on the top, just enough of a garnish to make it look beautiful. And then we'll put the chocolate syrup right on top of the fruit. And that right there is a dessert yogurt parfait, something that will perfectly adjunct a nice lunch or brunch or something like that whenever you're really looking to just finish off that perfect meal. Alright, right here we have both our breakfast and our dessert yogurt parfaits next to each other. I'm going to kind of rotate them around a little bit so you can just kind of see the layers in action, and it's just a nice, beautiful little treat to look upon. And like I said before, we are hoping to do around one of these every month and just make sure that we keep supplying you with new and inventive ways to use our granola, because we really are passionate about not just the granola itself, but in the eating of it, because that's our favorite part.